Morning, everybody. My name's Spencer Malloy. I'm a senior in the class. I was actually one of the first students to take the class at its founding. Professor Bowden convinced me to join it with her, and we took a swing at it together. So I've had the privilege and honor of seeing the fund grow since its inception. We've had a few rocky spots, but we always come back, and we always seem to pick stocks that are going to outperform and have been doing pretty well. I just want to give you guys an overview, our alumni, of how we run the class, how it works, a little bit of our process, give you some insights on the financials, and then we'll turn it over to our last two stock picks. So we follow a pretty simple investment strategy. We look for macro trends in the market, and then we dive into the company's financials. And when I say dive in, and we individual students dive into a company. So say, in my case, my company was Beyond Meat. I felt very strongly about it. I dove into it, found the financials, compared it with its industry, made some projections using a DCF model. And then that's what the presentations you're going to see today is the pitch to and see if the fund should invest in those companies itself. So the class is split up into two sections. It's a full year. The first part of the class, in the first semester, you tend to rebalance whatever's left over from second semester. So our IPS, we've outlined our constraints for the class and our investments. So no investment should comprise 7.5% of the total portfolio. No industry or sector will comprise more than 15% of the total portfolio's assets, and no small cap stock will comprise more than 12.5% of the portfolio. This is what leads us into our rebalancing process. We go through, the fund sits dormant in the summer, and then the class in the fall goes through and says, okay, for example, Beyond Meat might have grown exponentially. It's time to rebalance it, bring it back into with constraints of our IPS, and then we move on from there. It just keeps us, everyone familiar with the stocks, and it keeps the fund itself in check. That way, one stock's not taking up too many of the assets or too little. As we get into the financials, I'm happy to report that we're up 12.15%. That equates out to be about $8,553. That's pretty good considering, as everybody well knows, in the thick of COVID, the stock market was not doing so hot. But we bounced back, and, through proper management with the students and Professor Bowden's guidance, we've been able to weather the storm and come out on top. Today, we've got quite a few stocks, or we've gone through quite a bit of stocks. You'll hear two more today. The stocks we've looked into investing this semester are Black Hills, Activision, Beyond Meat, Chewy.com, AT&T, and Dollar General. And today, you'll hear the stock presentations for Humana and Intel.